Hello, this is Dan Itzen of the show Ranting Lunacy. Some of you may wonder what Ranting Lunacy is about. Well, you got a lunatic right here in front of you. That's probably, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is, if you're wondering who this guy is here, this is Gregg Walker, my brother-in-law. And he is co-owner of Genius Pest Control. My brother Wally owns the other half. And we're going to be talking about Genius Pest Control a little bit, talking about mold, treatment, termite, pest control, and the importance of having that, and knowing how to pick the right company and so forth. And Greg, it's good to have you on the show.
Good to be here, Dane.
Genius Pest Control, let's go back to how they started up. How far are we going back, 1988?
Yeah, you're going back into the 80s. Originally, Junior, he'd spent many years with Orkin, Terminex, and then he went and basically opened up his own business here in Bainbridge. And around 1988, toward the end of 88, he sold out his business to Terminex and had a 10-year non-compete. So
non-compete means what?
That means for 10 years he couldn't do any pest control in Bainbridge, Georgia, surrounding counties.
Okay.
And he honored that agreement, and toward the end of 98, he started his business back up. And he had no intentions of really getting so big to where he couldn't handle all of it himself. He was just going to be him and one truck doing pest control.
Mm-hmm.
Because your daddy always liked to stay busy. He wasn't
too much.
Did. He wasn't too much to sit around the house.
No, he'd be in the office a lot.
But he started it, and things took off.
Okay.
And
did he start out like with pest control at first, and then?
Yeah, it was strictly pest control at first, monthly and quarterly, and he done it himself.
And then, why did he get involved in termite?
Well, the pest control took off, and he had to hire an extra person to help him out, and he claims that they convinced him to go into the termite business, but
when he says they, I mean
the one employee he had, and started doing termite work, and then that's when I joined in and basically did all the termite myself.
You and my sister met, like, how long has it been since you met my sister?
Oh, almost 10 and a half years.
It's really been that long of a war, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't believe I put up with her that long.
Yeah. Cindy, now listen, she's just not my fault. But anyway, so you've been working for Dad's company how long now?
9 years.
Okay, when did Dad approach you about taking over the business?
Probably maybe 4 to 5 years ago. He had thought about maybe just getting out of it again, and he didn't know whether he should sell out to another company. And I just made a suggestion because it is a profitable business, and how about giving me a chance, to take over. And he said let him work at it, and he came back with the idea of getting Wally involved because he's blood kin,
right?
And
son,
having a son in it. So
for people that want to know, I wasn't really interested in the bug business, so I wasn't blackballed.
He's scared of bugs.
Yeah, I'm scared of bugs. That's it, especially viruses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he approached you, approached him, and
he made it happen.
Made it happen.
Yeah. That's one thing I found out with your daddy. If you approach him with something, he would try to figure out a way to make it.
I remember when job to member. I remember when he thought about selling out again, and he asked me about it, and he had stated to me, he goes, "You're not working for me, so I'll get an opinion from you. What do you think?" And I said, "Well, Dad," I said, "I think this time around, if you really invested this much time and sweat into the business, you should really try to give it to the family and let it keep going. And I'm sure you're glad that you had done that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But,
and you know, that's kind of the reason why we keep it Junior's Pest Control, because it's kind of, you know, he's been gone here now over 2 years, but
yeah, it's hard to
still,
believe. It's hard to believe.
you know, his name's still around.
Yeah, I spoke at his funeral. I mean, I can't believe it's been over 2 years. It's going on 3 years. You know, it seems like it's just. It just seems like I had a hard time, Greg, getting used to going into the office and not seeing Dad behind that desk.
Oh yeah.
It just, you know, it's never going to be the same without him. But so had you worked pest control before you got involved with Dad? Had you done any kind of work like that?
No, I spent probably a good part of 20 years in manufacturing, which is a totally another animal. You know.
You were a plant manager too, weren't you, or something like that? Or am I
Well,
mistaken
yeah,
that?
at a rubber plant.
So you have experience in management.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so when you got involved in pest control and termite, did you find that it kind of fit pretty well, like a hand in a glove, or you love it, or did it have to grow on you, or?
Yeah, it was different. You know, you're out. You're not confined to a plant all day. You know, you're constantly out meeting different people.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoyed that. You know.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, being in a manufacturing plant and having a boss man breathing down your neck all day. You know, it's a different environment.
Okay, we got about 2 minutes before we go to the break, but now you talk about, that's kind of funny what you just said about the boss man. Now you're the boss man that brings down people.
Well, yeah.
Scott, how is he?
Yeah,
You'll be on the man, but how is he as a boss? You're his brother. Now tell the truth.
It's just like working for your brother.
And I notice he's shaking there and he's nervous and everything, you know. So when you got involved in pest control, it was a couple of years after that you approached him about maybe taking it over and not selling it, and
yeah. And the thing about it, to run a pest control business, you've got to have what they call a certified operator's license, which is totally different than your average technician that actually goes out and sprays their houses.
Right. In fact, you said that the hours for you to keep your operator's license is 50 hours over 5 years.
Right, 50 training hours over 5 years.
And we got 1 minute, and for technician it's like 16 hours.
16 hours every 2 years.
So the multiple tests you take for operator's license is not a piece of cake, is it? It's pretty tough.
No, it's actually 3 different tests, 100 questions each. One covers pest control, one covers termite and wood destroying organisms, and the other is like a general, which could be anything from safety to
okay,
just
we'll be
general.
back. We're going to be talking about that when we come back, about the different things that you do. And we'll be back in a moment. You're watching Randy and Lunacy with Dane Edson and my guest, Gregg Walker.